your lighting's fine, and we're live. And I'm
Yo,
not
man,
counting
what's up?
people.
Oh,
I'm not.
I thought you were
Yeah, I'm
going
not
live.
counting people will watch right now because of the time. But
No
anyone who's here,
problem.
thank you for coming. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so tell me a little bit about your history and typology, because I know you've been in the class for a while and you have a YouTube channel.
So, man, my story is really simple. Like, I'm just 22 years old. I got into typology 6 years ago, and I had only one purpose, right? So, what happened? I entered my college, and I see the most prettiest girl in the class, and it's like this romance movie. I like fall for her, and then I could never understand how this romance work, how humans work, stuff like that. So I always relied on some sort of system that would give me an edge. Okay, if this and happens, then they should act this way. So I really got into MBTI, trying to type the person, trying to understand, because what hit me was this is the reason I really got into typology, was because I proposed a girl, and she rejected me, and then she said, what, let's just be friends. I told, okay, you know what, let's just be friends. But then things went like, normal. Obviously, now it's not obvious for me now. But back then I was like shocked. You said let's be friends, but now you're saying, uh, but now everything's different, right? And I spoke to another friend, another her female friend, and she said, wasn't that obvious for you? Like, can't you read her body language? And I was like, what body language are you talking about, girl? And I started reading, consuming body language, MBTI, just trying to understand, so that I don't make the same mistake again. And that's what drive me like 6 years ago. And then I slowly got into it, read lots of books, self-help, business, and then I actually built myself up from like, brick by brick. All this personality, the way I speak, even the way I look, as much the way I dress, everything. It's like I had to build it ground up.
Okay, so like I was wondering what you were doing there. So you answered the question quite differently than a lot of people would have answered the question. You answered based on
Yup,
motivations, yeah, not based on
yup.
what happened, yeah, but
Hey
based
man, you
on
see,
yeah.
hmm,
So that's
yeah,
it's definitely an intuitive way as well. So I know you were typed as an ENTP, and
thank
you
you.
just yeah, and just before the and just
But
before we
but
started
don't worry,
talking,
it won't be like any other ENTP. I'll make sure this is very sensory, very fun, and
I don't mind. Do as much stuff as you want.
hey man, I'm an open book, and if you
Yeah,
can ask the right questions, you'll know the secrets to universe.
yeah. So we have a few highs first. Abjit
Hey
Singh,
Abhijit, what's up,
Abhijit.
man?
That's what I said.
A brother from India, what's up?
Cool, yeah. And then we have Jester's Court, who changed his name to Queen's Gambit.
Man, I love chess. I recently started watching chess, and it's so cool, the way they like plan is like really cool stuff. The way they strategize, the history. Okay, never mind. Hmm.
Cool. So okay, so then you didn't really give us any sensory details other than just the motivations and the reason why you
Yeah,
got into yeah. So
yeah. Probably I
like
won't go to actually what happened because
oh
that's like that's like the dark part of my life. It's not like I'm
yeah.
not comfortable with, but I mean,
No,
if you
that's
want to
fine.
go,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
fine. I just
But
wanted to know like okay, so you got into MBTI first. Did you get a type
yeah,
right away?
ENTP.
ENTP right away from the
Yeah,
start.
yeah. Dude, the system is broken. If the system doesn't know what type you are, it just says ENTP. That's it. So that the guy shares
But,
the website. It's all broken
but
bullshit.
but then you got ENTP with Dave and Chen, and you agree with any Dom.
Uh, I wouldn't say I got ENTP. She said I was an EP, double
Uh-huh.
decider to hell, and an NT. So if you do the math, that's ENTP.
Yeah, that's
And I have any. So
so she said you were ENTP. Okay, so now
uh,
we're getting weird about the sensory details. That's interesting.
yeah, she,
Yeah.
she didn't say it's ENTP. It's more like high probability of EP, high probability of NT, high probability of double decider. That doesn't make me
Right.
EP. It just makes me very probable to be an ENTP. That's it.
Okay,
So
so
that's
do
a
you,
slight difference there.
I get you. There is a nuance. Okay, so then why any Dom? Do you see any Dom? Is that something
Yeah,
that's yeah?
yeah, yeah. I see it.
Um,
Yeah, I do see it. I see
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to tell us what it's like to be an any dom?
Uh, Man, it's like, I'm just trying to think of a sensory example. Have you ever seen people who collect stamps? They have a book where they collect stamps, right? No? Is that too old now?
Yeah, yeah. People do that, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So like people collecting stamps, I collect concepts, basically it.
Okay.
And
Um,
the better a concept is, the more wisdom the concept has, the more different perspective it has, that much more charming it is for me. Like I never understand what charm a stamp has, but for a person who's collecting the stamps, it's like the best thing in the world, right?
yeah. So that's interesting because as an NI user, I create concepts. I wouldn't collect them. So that's like a
Yeah. So for me, because I was in typology self-help for like over 6 years, I've collected so many concepts that I start seeing an I start saying, okay, this is what the guy's talking about. And even
uh
if, and they say, the wisdom is knowing what to ignore and what to like dial in on. And because I've seen so many different perspectives, especially in this specific self-help genre, consciousness, stuff like that, I can see the NI. I can see, okay, where this stuff goes like 100 years from now, 1,000 years from now. I know, at least in this specific niche. Okay, this is how it's gonna go. Like, I'm like, cool.
hmm
So I can see the NI, but that comes after like gathering a lot of SE facts and any concepts. It's like,
yeah. But like,
hmm,
do you resonate with ever creating a concept?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
generating
it's
them
like
because you said you collect them, but what about creating them and generating them?
it's like it's like you're collecting different parts of a bike, and when you like build your own bike using different parts, it's no more the same bike as everyone else, right? Now you have a your own unique bike. You have a
Okay.
motorcycle that's your own, that is tattooed, that has like the red fire symbol, stuff like that, if you
hmm
resonate with that SE stuff.
Yeah.
But so you came up with that bike, but as I say, I stand in the shoulders of giants. So
Right.
it's not like whatever I learned is something that I came up originally with, but they did the heavy lifting for me, and now it's my job to do the heavy lifting so that the when the future generation come in, they don't have to put through all this, typology, OPS. Oh, what is this? What is this? Stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? They will get it all figured out. In 10 years, OPS will be all figured out, and then they'll take it even further. That's how I
Okay.
see it.
So tell me about this bike metaphor you just came up with. Is that something you came up with, or you're just using something that someone else already came up with in the past?
No, this is something I came up with.
Just now, you generated the bike thing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I can do that because I understand the concept. So as long as I understand the concepts, I just like, okay, what sensory can I use?
Now,
I can
how
use
deep
by
how deep do the metaphors you come up with go? Like, is it something that you're just
very
using?
deep.
Yeah. Yeah. So how
Eh,
deep can we take this bike metaphor?
The bike metaphor, I don't know
Yeah.
about bike
So,
metaphor,
well, yeah.
but I have
Well,
certain metaphors that I can go
ah,
very, very, very deep.
okay.
And that is because I've done a lot of NI, right? So what I do
Mm,
for me to like be awesome, I follow a lot of NI people. I don't follow any people except few,
mhm,
but I follow a lot of NI people who just dial down in like one field, and I just
mhm,
follow them. So I gather their NI concepts. So basically, what I do, I try to gather everybody else's NI concept, and then NI that. So I have like
mhm.
my own theory of everything. That is like everyone's NI's NI, a meta NI.
Okay.
You know
Okay.
what I mean?
All
So
right. So tell
those
me.
metaphors. Okay,
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your meta NI. What is your meta NI seeing now?
man, it's really deep, and I'm sure half the people will be like, What's going on?" But if
So
you
yeah,
want to go, let's go.
let's bother half the people here. Then I'm sure they'll be interested.
All right, bro. All right. I'm gonna explain the theory of everything, and
Okay.
if you don't understand, just pause me. All right, and
Sure.
we'll. All right. Let's start with this. Are you familiar with a hologram? It's like a 2D
Hologram.
image. Yeah, it's like a
Okay.
2D image
Yeah, yeah,
where you see a 3D diagram in a 2D image. Yeah.
yeah.
Now
It
notice,
has a different image based on where you look on it from.
yeah,
Yeah,
notice at every angle that you look at this hologram, you see a different image, right?
yeah. That's what I just said.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just highlighting that because the next point is,
Yeah. Okay. Let's
but we're
go. We're good.
but we'll see. Oh man, I'm like an old granny who just like repeats what the other person says. Never mind. So hologram, every angle that you look at the hologram, you see a new image, but you're seeing a new images of the same hologram. Similarly, the reality that we are in, right, is like a hologram. It's like the 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 angle that you're looking at the hologram is your perspective, right? So but notice we are all seeing different perspectives of the same reality, just like we are looking at the hologram at different angles, and we are seeing different images of the same hologram. You
Right.
follow? Right?
Yeah, I follow. Right
Similarly
away,
in
I would disagree though, because I see the
Mhm.
world very differently, right?
Yeah,
Because
see,
what you're saying is okay. So
I'm seeing your perspective that you see is just one angle that is looking at the hologram. Like
at the
your
hologram,
view
yeah,
of the world is just one angle at which you're looking at the hologram, but everyone is looking at the same hologram. Like nothing is changing
right,
here. It's just that
right.
your angle that you're looking at, that's changing.
Okay, so I'm
You
going to
with
talk
me?
about that. So
All
let's say
right.
the hologram is a different image at every angle, but I think the world is the same everywhere. It's just our perspectives that make it look like a hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what
But it's
I
not
meant.
actually, but the world isn't actually a hologram or even like a hologram. It's just our perspectives
No,
that
it's
make it
just
look
a
like.
metaphor for me to explain this
There you
particular
go. There you go.
concept.
Right.
It's just a metaphor for me to explain this particular
So
concept that
which
we are all
concept?
in a
Yeah.
yeah, that we are all in a reality and looking at it in different perspectives. But
Okay,
notice
there you
we
go.
are
That's
having different
the
perspectives of the same reality. Just
right.
like when you look at a hologram at different angles, you see different
Right.
images of the same
So what just
hologram.
happened there was I disagreed with it because of
The
the
sensory.
no, because of
Okay.
how it could be applied. So
Okay.
like I so my NI is looking for something that can be applied in a very
Mm,
all sweeping way.
mm.
Your metaphor is really good, but it
For
breaks
that
down if you
particular
apply
thing.
right. If you
No,
apply it
see,
in a broad way,
my goal is for you to understand perspective. That's it.
right,
So if you
exactly.
take my
Yeah.
metaphor and apply it in the field of perspective, then yeah, it will make a lot of sense. But if you take something like if you're talking about fish, right, then there better be ocean around it. But if you're talking about fish and then you're saying, okay, what about land? What about space? What about this? I mean, look, I get it, but what
Yeah.
I want to highlight is I want to talk about the behavior of fish in ocean.
Right.
Similarly,
So
this. Mhm.
it's like a really cool metaphor. I agree, but like, so I'm just trying to highlight the difference between what my NI would do and what an NE user would do. So what an
Okay.
NI would do is they would want a better metaphor, like because there's got to be a better one out there that could go deeper and could be applied to more things. And you're like, well, why would I need a better one? This explains exactly what I want to say, and then I'm just going to move on to another one if I want to say something else.
If you want another if you want another metaphor,
Yeah. All right, let's
uh,
see. Let's see another one.
it's like different facets of the same diamond or different sides of the same mountain,
Okay.
right? You're looking at different sides of the mountain, but you're looking at different sides of same mountain. In fact, there's
So
an
it's
Indian
like the
story,
elephant
all
in the
right?
room. That's an old metaphor. Like the elephant in the room, everyone's looking at it from a different side, right?
Exactly, that's the Indian
Yeah.
story I was about to tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of
Okay.
things. It's the
Yeah.
same concept. If you want, I'll use hundreds of such examples. I just want to because can't pass on any concepts, right? I can't pass on intuition. I can only pass on sensory facts. And I just hope that using my sensory facts, you understand what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right.
No, no, yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have Christine that is an NE user, and
Yo, what's up, Christine? Chris?
Christine, and so she says Any thinking they are deep, but there it's width, not depth. Facets, lol, many angles and facets, and what the essence of
Yeah,
that's what I need is. Yeah.
yeah, we are going to go very deep, Christine. Just hang on. We just,
So,
just started. We're
so,
gonna
so
get by
what
one
she
by
was,
one.
right. So what she was
Hmm.
commenting on is that the metaphor you used is actually really demonstrative of what any is in itself,
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's true.
any is looking at many different, like looking at many different facets of something really shallow. Like, okay, it's one picture here, it's one picture here, it's one picture here. Whereas
Yeah.
NI will look at something that's really, really deep, but only from one angle.
So,
And you look at it
so
from
what
all
I
the
am doing
angles.
here.
Yeah.
So what I
So
am
it's
doing
really
here.
cool.
So what I'm
So it's
doing here
actually a
is
deep
like,
concept.
no, this isn't the concept. What I am trying to illuminate is the truth. That is the NI concept we are going to talk
Okay.
about.
All right. So what is
But
the
if
truth
I,
then? Go
but,
for
but
it.
if I tell you the truth is what is, right? I tell you this is what is the truth. Love, that's truth. Everything that you
Okay.
see is love. But you look at it and you see like, love, what,
Yeah.
truth, what is, right? So
Yeah.
I'm taking you there gradually by connecting many concepts. And when all these concepts connect like different pieces of a puzzle, when they like fit together, you see a bigger picture. The first concept that I was trying to convey is that perspective thing. That of course we got it clear, but I'm gonna explain multiple such concepts while holding your attention, hopefully, and
You're
then
going to. All right.
yeah, and then gonna build that big picture. And when you suddenly look and like, whoa,
So, okay, when
damn,
you say you're going to, you're going to do that right now while we're
right
talking, or
now,
you're going to do that?
right
Oh,
now.
right now. Okay, you've just. All right, let's do it.
No,
Sure.
yeah, I was like, I'm just waiting. Okay, you're with me till here. That's all I'm
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
You're with,
Okay, let's keep
and if you
going.
lose
All right.
me, we are gonna lose multiple of metaphors. So
No, I
now
never
that we
lost you.
understand,
I was just giving a commentary. Let's keep going. Let's
all
go.
right, all right. Now that we understand, now that we understand that we are all looking at different perspectives, and what we as a human being are, is this angle that's looking at this hologram, right? This perspective. The question comes: what creates this perspective, right? What makes this up? And my answer is beliefs. Now let me define what a belief is. A belief is a thought that you keep thinking. That's it. A belief is a thought that you keep thinking. Now, I do not care whether you're conscious of it, unconscious of it, it's genetically wired in us. I don't care. It's a thought that we keep thinking. And
Okay,
you,
I'm still stuck on the hologram thing. All right. So okay, so you didn't
all
even
right.
need to use the hologram. A hologram is just really cool, but like you could have just said, because like you could have just said whatever's in front of you. You could have just said a telephone. We all see it from a different perspective. It's the same thing.
No, no,
No, why is it
no.
different?
So the problem here is for you to realize we're all looking at the same hologram, and
But we're
we are
all
all
looking at the
looking
same
at,
telephone, just from a different
yeah,
angle. It's a different picture.
yeah, but it doesn't. It's a better metaphor. My personal
Okay,
opinion, when
all
I'm
right.
like, it's a better because when I tell, it's like telephone dude. When I tell that, people are like, huh, right? So I'm just taking the best metaphor that I have collected that works with many people. That's it.
Okay.
That's worked with many people. That's the
All right.
hologram thing. Of
All
course,
right.
you
Okay.
you
So
could
now,
understand it right away.
all right. So we moved
Hmm.
on to belief. Okay, you're talking about belief.
Yep.
So
A belief is
so
a
what?
thought that we keep thinking.
It's a belief that it's a thought that you keep thinking. Okay. So for me, that makes no
All right.
sense. That makes no sense
Okay. Okay.
because I don't think about my
So
belief.
all right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I don't care.
Okay.
You might not be conscious of I'm sorry, I don't mean that way. I mean, you don't have to be conscious of what your beliefs are, but I'm saying that you have to keep thinking certain thoughts for you to experience this reality. Now most people are not conscious of these thoughts. Let me just take a classic example. This might be a bit offensive or something like that, but it'll really show the fluidity of this. Everyone believes strongly that they're a guy or a girl or whatever, right? Like, you are a guy, I am a guy, and this is something we strongly believe. We don't think about it, We
I believe
don't.
in reality. I believe that reality tells me what I am, right?
Yeah, that's also a thought, right? That you keep thinking.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
the fact that I believe I'm a
So
guy is
it's
only
like bundle
because
of sticks.
it's only built on the fact that I believe in reality.
Yeah, but that's also
Yeah.
a thought that you keep thinking.
Why is
So
that a
what?
thought? It can be a thought when I think about it, but when I don't think about it, it's not a thought anymore.
Because Ben, if you were a rock, right? Let's just say
Uh-huh.
if you were a rock, and from the perspective of a rock, whatever you're believing right now wouldn't exist for a rock. So what I'm talking about is truth. Truth is something that is consistent no matter at which perspective you look at it. And the only
So
reason
truth
you're
is a belief.
conscious of no, truth is what is, right? We didn't go there yet. I'm
Okay.
saying
Okay.
the big truth with capital T, the truth with a capital T is something that is consistent with all the perspectives. It doesn't matter whether you're a fish, doesn't matter whether
Oh,
you're
yeah.
a rock, you
Th-
know.
that I agree with.
Hmm.
But the other
So
thing
I'm
is
saying, hmm
truth will remain true even with no perspectives. Truth will remain
yes,
true if I'm a rock or if I'm a man.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
That's yeah. That's one
Okay.
of the qualities
Good.
of truth. Yeah,
Okay, good.
but we are not capable to think that way, right? We are built to like
Oh,
look
we're
at
not.
world
Okay.
a certain way for our survival. Because if we start thinking like that, there'll random guy will come and he'll kill us, and we won't even know about it. He won't be alive to tell the story, basically. So,
Right.
all right,
Not
man.
literally. Yes.
Not really, not literally. Man, we're
Right.
just starting. Okay, it's 20 minutes already, and we just okay. Cool. So a belief is a thought that you keep thinking. Now I don't see most people are not conscious of all the thoughts they believe. That is why when you meditate and when you do shadow work, many things come up. Has it ever happened that suddenly some childhood memory just popped up in your head? It's there.
Um,
Everything is.
sure.
Um, it's cool, man. Something you see an ice cream and you go like zone out and like, damn, when I was a kid, I had it. Whatever,
Yeah,
man.
I think that's a more of an SI thing, but yeah, it does happen to me too sometimes. Yep.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
that might be true. So what I'm saying is a belief is a thought that we keep thinking. All right. Now let me tell you the characteristics of this belief. Let me tell you what this thought actually is. Right. Now this is gonna get a little bit confusing. All right. So hold on to me. Question as much as you want, and we're gonna go through this. All right.
Yeah, sure.
So the belief that we are gonna talk, this thoughts, right, is basically a duality. All right. What a duality is basically, let's take that phone example. For you to identify that thing as a phone, right, as a black phone, you need to also see that the things around it is not a phone. Only when the things around it is not a phone, only then that can exist as a phone.
But it
You
exists
feel
as a
me?
phone even if I don't exist, even if I'm not there.
No, that's not what I'm.
You
That's
mean
not
as a
what I'm
concept in
talking
my
about.
head, or you're thinking about the
For
sensory
for you
reality?
to even identify this, for you to
Okay,
even identify a phone, right?
right.
You need to know what is not a phone.
Okay.
It's obvious stuff. I'm not like telling something like very profound
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Like okay. So like this would make more sense if you were to use writing on a page in black and white. So in order for you to see
Yeah,
the writing, you need to have a black ink and a white background. But the
just
phone
like
as
for you to
as
see
a
the
metaphor
foreground, you need
breaks
a
down in that
background.
case. Yeah, yeah,
Just like for you to see the foreground, you need a background. For a
yeah.
wave, you need a crest, so that there's a only when there's a crest and a trough, you can see the wave, or else the wave wouldn't exist, right? So
Right.
belief is basically a duality like foreground and background. And
So
what
where's the connection there? Okay, so you're jumping to the belief as a duality from the fact that you need to see black and white together. So why is that connected?
because black and white is also a duality. A duality is
Right.
anything that is and everything that is not is. For
Okay.
example, for you to say that I'm an ENTP, right? That
Hmm.
automatically implies, whether you like it or not, is that there are things that is not an ENTP. Only then this label ENTP
Yeah.
gets meaning,
So just so
right?
you know, I'm investigating truth a lot too on my own, and I get a lot to duality. I get down to duality too. So this is
Yeah,
like
yeah. So we are
we're getting to
exploring
it from
that here.
different sides, different ways. Yep.
Yeah. I hope this helps you in any way. So
Sure.
what my so what I'm trying to convey here is, for you to say I'm an ENTP, there needs to be things that's not an ENTP. Only when everything is not
Ah.
an ENTP, this label of ENTP can pop up and exist. Just like for like a foreground and background.
Mm-hmm.
For a foreground to exist, you need a background. You cannot have a background without foreground.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's where the duality connects with this. Just like you cannot have black with white. And that's what's so profound about the yin yang symbol, right? It's like two
Yeah.
fishes swimming. It's like
But
two
okay,
fishes
so
swimming like
it's
this.
our ability to identify differences, right? So you're different than the general population in your
No,
way. So
I
we
don't
call you
mean
one.
different in general population. I mean different in everything. Let's go
Well, the
something more
background
basic.
you're talking about is the other types in terms of ENTP.
No.
No.
Not other types. Everything. Okay, let's go like this. Language.
Okay, so if
Right?
there was no people in the world, there's nobody. There's just you. You're still
All
an
right.
ENTP because you're different than the tree.
If you define it that way.
All right. So then I
What is
could
a
define
human
you. I
label?
could define you
The
as
label
a rocket man because you're different than the tree, and then you'd be a rocket
you can
man.
only you can only define me as a rocket man if you know what is not a rocket man. So
I know the tree's not
when
a
you
rocket
look,
man.
there you go. That is the duality
So
I've
then you must
created.
be a rocket
The
man because
reality
the
is
tree's
not
not one.
that. So the reality is not that. The reality has no rocket man, has no ENTP, has nothing. It is
Sorry, I'm
us
just
that
bothering
is
you right
like
here.
segregating it.
I'm challenging you.
No. I'm
Okay.
perfectly yeah.
Okay.
Try, challenge me, dude. You know, the more you
Okay. All
challenge,
right.
the more you get.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is just like in language, right? Let's take this letter A. When you look at letter A, right? What is it? It's a scribbling. You look at a Chinese character, you don't. It looks like some cool symbol, right? Even though it looks like a cool symbol for you, for
Unless
people
you're
in
Chinese, I'm
China,
sorry to all the Chinese viewers here. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
I hope they didn't get offended. I mean, I
No,
didn't
of
say
course
anything
not. No,
offensive
no.
yet, not yet at
But to
least.
them, it doesn't look like just a scribble. To me, maybe, yeah.
Anything, dude. Like, see this,
Just keep
this,
going. Just keep going. Yeah.
this is just a scribble but for me, I call this INTJ, right?
Okay. All
I'm
right.
just
That's
kidding.
INTJ.
So
And
no.
I'm
So
sorry to all
I'm
the
giving.
INTJs out there. That's.
Oh my god, I'm not offending anyone. I'm just like trying to highlight a concept.
I'm just having
All
fun.
right,
Okay, let's keep going.
I know.
All right.
I'm just like playing the game. Okay. So what I want to say is for you to understand the symbol, right? When you give symbol the meaning, the way you give meaning to anything is for it to automatically disassociate with everything else. Like
Okay.
when you call me an ENTP, you're not just segregating me from types. It has underlying assumption that I am a human, I am a living person, everything. It has like lot of layers of assumptions. And what a language is basically is abstract symbols, right? That we give meaning to, and we say this is A. This, I guess, is like this. This is A, and that's what it is. And when you tell that this symbol is A, that automatically implies that this symbol is not any other sound. It is not
Okay.
R, E, U, right? It's only A.
Okay.
That's what the meaning comes, right? So this is the duality that I'm talking about
Okay. So can I
between the
bring a couple of
phone.
concepts into the conversation here? Let's bring a couple of
Sure.
concepts. Let's add a
Sure.
couple. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't bring
you
it
can.
in?
Sure.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you can. I'm
So there's
NE, so it's like I
right.
don't have much.
Okay. So there is the idea of positive versus negative, right? Which is what you're really stressing here. But then there's also the idea of positive versus zero, positive versus mundanity.
No,
Okay.
no, that's not what I'm
One
stressing on. I'm
second.
stressing on.
I know.
Uh,
I know.
uh,
I'm just bringing it. Okay.
okay.
So so the letter A. Okay. Let's say there's just nothing, silence, complete silence. All right. That's the
Even
mundanity.
complete silence is something, right?
Okay. Whatever. It's something. But it's the mundanity. It's the zero state. Okay. So when I go and say A, I'm differentiating that not from R. I'm not differentiating it from W because W and R don't even exist. I'm differentiating it from silence.
From
Right.
everything. Yes.
from
Everything.
the ground state, from the natural ground state, from natural, right? So like in
For
my
you to
investigation on
understand the
duality,
everything that I'm referring to, for you to
right?
understand the everything that I'm referring to, let's imagine a circle, right? Slowly decrease the diameter of the circle.
Mm-hmm.
And when the diameter of the circle becomes zero, then the area of the circle becomes everything,
Okay.
right? That is
Mm,
what you're differentiating it
if
with.
that's how, yeah.
You
Again, I'm going to use your thing. If that's how you define it, then yeah.
everything, I mean literally everything.
If
I'm
that's
not
how you
talking
define it,
about
then
just
sure. If you want to
yeah,
define it like that, then sure, yeah.
yeah,
But
we are
then you
like
can
we are
also
like
say it becomes nothing
yeah,
from a
yeah,
different perspective, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing, everything, same thing.
Um,
When you're looking at that perspective.
yeah. Okay. So like a lot of what I was investigating in duality, the plus and the minus, is what happens at the edge when something is not a plus and it's not a minus, right at that very edge. If you can keep zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, what happens there? That's like really so like there's one concept, there's another concept, and what happens at that edge when it's not this concept and it's not that concept? It's somewhere in between.
Uh, so the assumption here is for us to assume that these concepts exist as a separate entity, right?
Well,
What I'm
they do based on definitions, right?
uh,
The
yeah,
definitions
but
make a concept something, and it's
yeah,
the issue with the definitions. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like a
but when
border.
I'm talking about spirituality, I'm literally like, for this concept to exist, it needs to separate itself from everything, not just
Yeah,
humans, not just everything, right? Only then the small bubble can exist, and everything is a small bubble. It's like you're having multiple foregrounds and backgrounds. With
right.
every word that you utter, you have multiple foregrounds and backgrounds, and they're all different foreground and background pair. They're all
So
different
I've been seeing it
dualities.
really differently. I've been seeing it really differently, that it's
All right.
not separate from everything. Everything is united. Everything can be joined. Some concepts overlap other concepts. Some concepts touch other concepts. Some concepts are separated from other concepts. And so when they're separated, there's still a midpoint between them. Even though this one's defined here, this one's defined here, there's still something in the middle somewhere. And I'm trying to
Mm,
find what's between those two concepts. It's not this concept. It's not that concept. It's another concept entirely. It's just in between somewhere. You can
mm.
give it another border and you can call it something else, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So what I want to say, the truth, the true nature of reality is everything, right? All that is,
Okay,
all this, without any labels. But
sure.
what we as humans, what we do for us to interpret this world, we differentiate everything. This is a wall. I'm a human. This is a chair, right? And we just create multiple foregrounds and backgrounds
But
unconsciously.
that's what we do.
That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why in Zen, there's this
That's not what
beautiful
is.
question that
That's just what we do. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But what is in Zen, there's this beautiful question, right? What was the picture of your face before you were born? Or what is the sound of
Okay.
one-handed clap?
Right. Like it could still okay. You could look at it from a different ways. So you could still be the same picture of your face, just back in time. You take a picture, put it back in time. That's the picture of
But
your
how
face
do you know
before you were
that's
born.
true?
It's your face. It's a picture, and you could move it back in time before. Like that's one perspective. There's a few answers. Like you're asking a question that can have many answers. The, there was no face before you were born, so there's no such thing as a picture. So it's a silly even question. Even the question itself is silly to ask, right? That's another way you can
Hmm.
answer it.
Well, it depends on. I mean, see, honestly, Zen it's like an acquired taste. Once you understand it, once you get it, it becomes beautiful. And
Okay.
what I feel, and I get it. I totally agree. You can look at it that way. What do you mean? I was
Well,
before I
that's
was
what you're
born.
talking about. We have a hologram here. We have different perspectives, and the only way to get to it is from all of the
Hmm.
different perspectives.
Yeah,
If you
this is
just
why I
say,
use
okay,
the.
just Zen, that's the only perspective I'm going to look at, then
Yeah,
you're
this
going to
is
get
why
to
I
a lie.
use the.
That's the opposite
Yeah,
of truth.
yeah. This is why I use the analogy of hologram is for me to encompass all the perspectives, and for me to say all these perspectives, all these different angles.
Uh-huh.
That's reality.
Right.
And
So I
what
just
we
gave you
are is
two
just
extra
like one angle.
perspectives that are not your own. Your own is a Zen perspective. I just gave you two
Yeah,
extra perspectives.
even
So tell
yeah,
me about your
exactly.
perspective. Yeah.
All right. So we understand this, right? A belief that a thought is just like a duality that we separate from
Okay.
something. There's everything, and it's like we are like from everything we are like segregating. Let's say there's a paint, right? You know this artist canvas. You look at it, it's white. But for you to see a picture, you need a black paint. You need a darker paint than white. And what
Okay.
you're essentially doing is you're not splitting the canvas, you're not cutting it to half, you're creating a distinction. By putting a black paint, you're creating a distinction,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what we do in like meta levels. Like
Okay.
if you're intuitive, I mean, I hope intuitives like get it. It's like the same concept goes like multiple abstract deeper. You with me still? The
Yeah.
canvas the canvas is still the canvas, but it is us who's like painting with black paint, white paint, and
Yeah.
creating this
To
distinction.
differentiate, to make a distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
when I call this slash of paint ENTP, that automatically differentiates it not only from other types but from everything in that canvas. From all that white, it says, okay, this is ENTP. You're not differentiating it
okay.
only with types, with everything. That's what a label is.
Okay.
That's what a symbol is.
And okay. Is there a continuation?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
All right. Man, this is probably the weirdest interview, dude.
That's cool.
All right.
I just want to say though, Prem has a YouTube channel, so if you're interested in hearing his thoughts, you can go over to his YouTube channel.
Don't worry, I don't go this deep and all. I just try to keep it very
Okay.
fun. Except one video that really goes like boom.
All
Anyway,
right. So you give me that video. I want to watch it.
it's the same
Anyways,
thing that I'm explaining you, but with like much more
okay.
structured way.
Oh, so like without the annoying ass interrupting you all the time,
Yep.
basically.
Not
Yeah.
annoying as out. It's sweet. I call
Okay.
it sweet.
So
Depends on how we look at it.
right. Exactly.
Uh,
Depends on the perspective.
okay. Okay.
From your perspective, it is true.
All right. So before we go deeper, let's just go dive a little bit deeper in duality. And let me give you like a small story, all right, which will emphasize the situation of us. And that's very self-help related. And I'm
Okay.
sure,
Can I just before you dive
yeah.
in, let's just say there's some people loving this. Um, ENTPs can debate in circles long.
Time. Of course I can, bro.
Right. Right. So Nick, who kept saying he was loving this, I feel like it's not connected because it's all literally one thing. Saying it's connected works functionally, but I think it's a poor use of language.
Man, what is cannot be explained through language, you know. When we use language, that by using language itself, we like, you know, cannot
So
talk about it because we are cutting reality.
so he had a continuation. Like 42 is 42. We can break it down afterwards and say it's two sets of 21, but it's actually 42. Did you get what he's saying?
Yeah, yeah, but like we are going like even meta and saying for us to even identify that as 42, you need to know what the other numbers are not, you know. That for you to even see the symbol 4 1, you need to know what is not the symbol.
So he's not talking about the
So
symbol 42. He's talking about the 42 as a concept.
yeah,
So
I
42 as a
mean,
concept of two sets of 21, for example,
yeah,
or it's 6 times 7, for example.
yeah, it's, you know, it's the same thing, man. End of the day, we are all talking about the same thing in different perspectives. That's like the truth,
Okay.
because we are all
Sorry. Okay.
talking
I'll
about the
let you
same
keep
thing.
going. I'll let you
All
keep
right,
going.
let me tell you like a small story so that you know you guys are entertained and it's not so abstract. And this is a bit SC, so you're probably gonna love this too. Long time ago, right? Once upon a time, there lived a soul. Now the soul was living in heaven, and all the soul ever wanted was to know itself. All right,
This is very SE, by the
but
way. Keep going.
yeah, yeah,
Like you
all
said.
this soul, yeah, I know. All this soul ever wanted to know was to know itself. But the soul couldn't see itself because it's among other light. Just like when you put a candle flame in front of sun, the candle flame cannot see itself, right? Similarly, when this soul was in heaven among other souls, this soul couldn't see itself, this soul couldn't experience itself. So this soul went to God and asked, God, I yearn to know who I am, right? Please help me find who I am. This is my only request. Like, I want to know who I am. So God says, for you to know who you are, you need to know who you are not, and pushes the soul into darkness. Now
Mm-hmm.
the soul is in darkness, surrounded by, darkness, and looks up to God and says, God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you left me in such darkness? Why have you like abandoned me? The
Mm-hmm.
God looks at the soul and says, I didn't abandon you, but for you to know who you are, you need to know who you are not.
Yep,
And
that's a good metaphor.
this
Yeah.
is, yeah. And the other one that I like to use is, it's like we're all we're all forced into this dark room, right? We don't know whether this room has lights. We don't know anything. It's just darkness. But some hope that there are lights. Others hope that there are lights and there are switches that turn on the light. For some people, it's OPS. For some people, it's typology. For some people, it's money, women, so on and so forth. Everyone is searching for that switch that will turn on the light. But notice, only when you enter a dark room can you experience light, right? So yeah, you with me, right? Still,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I saw
I've
you
said the
doing
same
this.
thing a few times.
All right.
Yeah, I'll send you a
Uh,
song of mine that I basically sums up this whole conversation. And yeah,
yeah, beautiful. That's what songs are
yeah,
for, because people can't hold their attention, and songs are beautiful. I love it. So everyone is trying to search for that light, for that switch, but most people are pushed into this dark room, and everyone is just resisting to go into this dark room, because they believe that what's supposed to be is light, but they look around is darkness, and they're like, it's a light, man, there's supposed to be light, why is it darkness? This is, and we just resist for so long, and we suffer. And this is the reason we suffer, because whatever we believe, when our beliefs is not aligned to what is the truth, then we suffer, you know so
so when
going
we're
back
not
to,
objectively seeing reality, when we're stuck in our own perspective, this is what you're saying. This is where
yeah,
we suffer. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that is why spirituality is so strong, right? Because it tells you what is. And Buddha never told, this is what is supposed to be, this is what is. He said, look, man, this is what is, but you wouldn't know what is until unless you go, you investigate, and you find out for yourself. So this is a true skepticism, where you consider both the coins and you yourself try to
Right.
experience the truth.
It's
That is
it's
the
it's
journey.
breaking of your own subjective reality. You have to shatter your own subjective reality in order to accept that you're wrong.
Hmm. But the reason I brought this story up is to show you that, although there's darkness in life, right? Right now the job I am in is shitty, and I don't like it. But it is in darkness that we can find ourselves. It is in darkness that you'll know that you are light, who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
4 years back, I was not this kind of person. I wasn't like this assertive and lot of this oomph, a lot of this SE stuff. I was like a meek little kid, dude, just insecure. I was scared to even talk to people, like people like you, American. I don't know where you're
Yeah.
from, but American.
From wherever. I'm from the earth.
All
I'm
right,
not
yeah,
differentiated right now.
yeah, all right, whatever. I was scared, right? But then I had to slowly, I had a choice where either live this my entire life or do something about it. And and I really wanted to live the life I always dreamed of. But it's only because I was put in that situation is now I can truly appreciate what is. My life is much more fulfilling, and I know that if I just work on this stuff even further, I can make it even more beautiful. And I don't think there's a limit to it. When
Hmm.
you're really into self growth, there's no limit to how happy you can be. The OPS community, the Facebook group, such wonderful people. Man, it's like I was always walking this lonely road, right? And I had
Yeah.
to make a choice 4 years back. Do I go dive deep, or do I just stop because I'm far above other people? I can understand other people, but if I go deeper, I'll probably lose the touch. I lose the
Hmm.
connection, and I had to choose whether I lose the connection or I, what do I say? I just go pursuit of the truth. And I'm so glad I did, because today I'm having this conversation with you. So many amazing people in the Facebook group. I'm having my own YouTube channel, ENTP.nurture. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Just
have
my
it down
plug
below.
in.
Okay, so you just like did this big blaster thing, but you're supposed to be blast third, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, let's just go into your type really quick. You have masculine sensory, so you have no problem remembering sensory.
It's not like
You
I
got
have no problem remembering sensory.
well, yeah, but like
It depends on what I like
relative
or
to
what I.
others, like
Yep.
if you were just in
Yeah.
the void, you'd say you have a
Yeah. In the
problem,
spectrum, in the
right?
spectrum,
In the
yeah, you would see me
spectrum.
as masculine
Well, I was
sensory.
using your language to differentiate between other people. Yeah.
Don't use man. My language is very
No.
confusing. It's
Well,
like,
I usually like to use people's language so that I can talk to them because it's already a concept that they know. But
well, my language would
and
make
it's also
sense
a
to
joke.
me if
It's
the
like
other
referencing
person
back
gets it.
something in the video. Yeah, whatever. It's done. It's ruined.
It's okay.
All right.
It's okay. I'm a double decider, so I can play.
Okay.
So
So
you were saying
okay, and then
something?
you have consume play. That's what they gave you, and sleep last.
Yeah. It's like it's
And
all with a
do
question mark. You know, it's
do
all
you
with a
agree with
question
these
mark.
animal stack at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when you're coming up with concepts and stuff, I guess that's not sleep for you. That's play, consume.
No, it's not like
No,
that. What you're
no.
seeing now,
What is it
all these
like?
stories, all these stories, right? I've done like intense consuming. Like I've read
Right.
lots of books, right? And and
Now
I've
this
been
is
like
blast.
thinking about it, and I've been thinking about it for like many years now.
Mm-hmm.
And what I call processing is like this: when I play energy enough, I automatically have to process what I think. When I'm telling my concepts too, but also when you're like a lonely person and just sitting with bunch of concepts, you slowly try to get it. Like, because I think this is what my theory is, because I have masculine sensory, I gather all these concepts, I remember them, I don't make anything out of them, I just have it as a concept. And when I'm
Mm.
learning other concepts, suddenly it starts hitting it starts connecting like in anime stuff,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it starts making sense. And that is when this concept start making sense.
I've heard other any users described it exactly like that. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. So do you want to
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what that ta-ta-ta process is? Like the way they described it is like puzzle pieces just sort of falling into place. It's not even you put them in place. They're just there and they
Yeah.
just fall.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess sensors like really get thrown around that example. So let me just think of a better analogy right now. It was Let's go to the bike part, dude. It's like you're collecting
Okay.
different bike. It's like you're collecting different parts of bike, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're just collecting. You don't judge it. You don't see if it's a good engine, bad engine, whatever. It's just
Okay.
there in your garage, right? And suddenly you just walk and you see all the parts and you see this beautiful bike in your image, right? And you see what beautiful bike you could build with this, and then you start building, and now you have a bike. That's basically like that each part is like a concept. You're not doing anything with it. You're just having it. I just
Right.
have this concept. Let's go with sensory examples. My
Well,
personal
I'm thinking of
experience.
the sensory in this. So you have a whole bunch of different bike parts. So you have a potential of billions of bikes between all the different combinations you can make.
Uh, all right, let's go with a sensory example. My personal experience, right? I love learning different skills. All right, and I always knew that practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent, right? That's like a saying. So when I was learning boxing, right, because I was like an insecure kid or whatever, I wanted to learn how to fight so that I get a confidence that I can defend myself, whatever. So I went to this boxing. The guy told me to run across the field, like zoom, 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 zoom. You run. So I am also like a mad guy, running around field, tired. Okay, he's making me crawl, do push-ups, and look at me. I'm not a fit guy, right? I don't like doing all this sensory stuff. And after doing all this, I thought, okay, you know what? This is it. I'm going back. I thought this was the class, just running around. He said, all right, guys, now let's practice boxing. And it hit me,
We're
damn.
running low on time, and someone's just reminding us of that too. So we'll
Okay.
just we'll just do this one, and we'll say goodbye.
Uh,
That's cool.
this uh,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
example.
So- yeah.
All right. So so the guy told, okay, let's learn how to box now, right? And it hit me, what practice really is not when you're motivated to do, is not when all the right conditions are there for you to do. The real practice is when you're not feeling like doing, not doing anything, but you're still forced to do, forced to box, right? You're preparing for the work. That is practice. Not when you're feeling like boxing, when you're feeling like going to gym. That's not practice. The real practice is when you're not feeling like going to gym, when you're at your lowest and you still need to go to gym. That is what you're practicing your soul
Right.
for.
So that's when you're
So
put to
this
the
is a
test. Yeah.
so this is a concept, right? A concept that I learned is that, practice, and we all have our own definition of practice, but this experience really like dialed it down. Okay, this is what real practice is. Not this woo woo motivation where you like get motivated to do something, stuff like that. Anyway, Ben, you know what, we are running low on time, like you
Yeah.
said. So is there anything else you want to
No,
ask
yeah, no.
me?
I want to first of all appreciate that you came. Thank you very much for coming and for sharing with us some of your concepts and some of the way you think. I wanted to push back
Yeah.
a little bit to sort of demonstrate it, and I hope that didn't get offended. You
No,
didn't get
no,
offended by
no,
that, yeah.
no, no, no. I'm very
And
strong with my idea.
all right, awesome. And definitely go check out Prem's channel. The description,
ENTP.nurture.
right? And I'll put your full
Yeah.
type in the description because we didn't really go over it.
So
But
what do
anyway,
you think? So this is it, is it? It's a 15-minute interview or it's like a 1 hour interview?
it's I try to keep it under an well, at first I was trying to keep it under half an hour, but that sort of fell through. So I'm trying to keep it under an hour now. Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna like talk for next 9 minutes or you're gonna like cut
No,
off?
I'm gonna
I'm
shut
just
it off
asking.
and give our people a break and not force them to watch
All right.
the end of the an extra 10 minutes
All
for no
right.
reason.
All
Yeah.
right, guys. I hope you had fun. Real thanks to Ben here. Uh, I had a lot of struggle, getting this timing and all together, and
Yeah.
he was really supportive of that, and he was very mobile with that time, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ben.
All right.
It's been a
Have a good one, guys.
pleasure.
Yeah. Bye.
I'll see you guys again. If you want to check out more